Hello, everybody. Welcome to 24 Slate. I'm Tim. This is Aaron.
Nice to meet you.
Aaron's from Aaron's from Powerhouse Gym. You probably heard us talking about him, me and Joe. Yeah, I think we talked to Aaron on one of the podcasts. But yeah, how's it going, Aaron?
Going well, man. I appreciate you having me on. I know I've been meaning to set this up for a minute. We've been going back and forth. I think I've been talking to Tim on Instagram probably for almost like a year now. Yeah, it's been about a year that we've been trying to get this going. But, it's been good, man. I turned the new leaf into 2024. It's nice to start it here. Someone who also has a podcast. I'm looking to launch my stuff into 2024 as well. And I'd figure, might as well get it going the first of the month or the first month of the year and kick it off.
Yeah, for sure. We'll do some collabs and get together.
Yeah, 100%.
Get Joe on there so he can talk again.
Yeah, we got that Fresh and Fuego coming up. I know I've seen Biggie on here too as well.
Yeah, Biggie was on here.
Yeah, so it's cool, man. I really like the setup.
Yeah, for sure. We try to make it comfortable.
Yeah, 100%.
That would be happy. So you grew up in Montebello or no?
I grew up in Hacienda Heights mainly. Grew up a little bit in South Del Monte. We lived with my grandma for a little bit. So we started off in Ontario, then moved to South Del Monte, was there for a little while, and then grew up the majority of my life in Hacienda Heights. And then was there for a while, moved to a couple different places in my earlier adulthood. And then now I'm in La Habra. So I'm in La Habra now. Yeah.
I heard about the house and what was in the house and some stuff like that. Joe was telling me about it. He goes, "Man, Aaron did this," and I'm like, "Cool."
Yeah, we. I think when I had seen you, I was at the condo, and then we had recently just bought another house over in La Habra again too as well. I like the area. For me, kind of growing up, and I know you can appreciate like the entrepreneur spirit and stuff like that. I'm a big fan of like the scenic views and the drives. I know you ride dirt bikes, so I know, I'm sure that you appreciate like a nice track or a nice view.
Yeah.
So going over the hill on Hacienda growing up, when I would go work out at like the LA Fitness off Beach and Imperial over there, and there's that big windy road that goes in through La Habra, and like I was always fixated. I was like, man, I love this drive every single day. I want to live over here.
Yeah.
When I do my thing, I want to end up over here. It's just a nice drive. You kind of feel like it's almost secluded from everything. I'm going into like a forest or something. I'm like off the grid. So that's why I ended up that way.
Yeah, there's up on the hills because I go up there. I there was a lot of traffic, so I went some certain way. And then I seen this one house. This guy has a train in his backyard.
Oh shit!
Yeah, it's an actual caboose.
Wow. And off Hacienda or?
I'm not sure if it's off of Hacienda. Like it's in the middle of Hacienda and Beach.
Okay.
No, Fullerton Road. Right?
Okay, yeah.
It's somewhere up there. But I remember going up Hacienda because there was so much traffic. Then it took me this way and that way, and then you're going up across. Then all of a sudden, I was like, wow, this guy won.
Yeah, man. There's some crazy houses out there. I really like. Before we moved to our current spot, I had looked to some other spots in the Harbor Heights. There's some nice spots like on the golf course. It's just beautiful over there. I think, why wouldn't you want to have like a nice view or, work towards that stuff?
I just live down here in the valley.
What was that?
I live down here in the valley.
It's not really the valley, right? So, I'm talking about like San Gabriel Valley. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like mountains and I come down.
Yeah. No, but they have some nice spots over here.
Oh, yeah.
Right in, upwards towards Monrovia, Arcadia. We have a couple of clients at my gym that they live in Bradbury. Beautiful homes over there.
I always tell people when they come to my house, if you get to the nice houses, you passed it. Just go back a few blocks, and you're good.
I see you. I'm right here now.
Yeah,
man. It's I grew up in Hacienda Heights for the majority of my life. Been in La Habra. I really don't plan on moving away from that area. I'm not a big fan. People are always like, "Oh, you like LA?" I hate LA, man.
Yeah.
I can't fucking stand LA. For a period of time, I lived in like Glendale for a little bit, and just going to Target, dude, is ridiculous. Like having to find parking on the street. Like I'm like, dude, I can't do this. It's not for me. You know, I gotta be something where it's a little bit more suburban, where I, don't have to worry about, cramming, trying to jam my car in somewhere and pull out. It's like it just wasn't for me. But yeah, I'm over here in La Habra. I've got the gyms. We have one in City of Industry, one in Duarte right over here, and then we're opening up our third one in La Habra.
Nice.
So yeah, we're moving and grooving.
So how'd you start out and with the gyms? Like you were in fitness or sports all your life?
Yeah,
or?
so I personally I started off playing sports like all through high school, all through like elementary. You know, I played soccer, basketball, all these things, but I really fell in love with soccer. So I played soccer all the way up until college, played a little bit of semi-pro, and from there I was at Cal State Fullerton, so I went to Cal State Fullerton for a little while. Then I bounced to Rio Hondo because I was playing soccer at Rio Hondo for a little bit, and then finally just kind of hung it up. And during that time, as you're like, set or 18, 19, just figuring yourself out, trying to figure out, okay, what is it that I want to do? What are my passions? And I kind of fell into fitness. That was like the next thing that I knew. I was like, well, I like sports. Fitness is it. I just spoke the other day. We had an event, and I was telling people when I got into fitness and I got into business, like I wanted to make money. Like my main focus was like I want to do something that I enjoy, and then I want to make a bunch of money.
Yeah.
That was my biggest thing. There was no real like I want to help the world. You know what I mean? I was too young, and I didn't understand. It was like me in the very beginning. So that's kind of how it started, and I was at Cal State Fullerton. Then from there, I started working at LA Fitness for a little while. And then from there, I had actually got fired from LA Fitness. And I was kind of forced to, kind of make things work on my own. Granted, I had some odds and ends jobs, prior to that. But I think it really stemmed off of just wanting to be in the fitness industry because of sports, wanting to look good. I think it's linked to like self-confidence, just, being like a young man at 18, 19, like wanting to be in the gym, wanting to look good, girls, like all these other things kind of just drove me to that avenue. And then from there, it transformed into like so many other things to where I'm at now.
Nice. I need to do that because I'm now the old fat guy now.
It's the dad bods we got to transform into 2024, baby.
I'm just getting fatter and fatter.
Man, it's definitely reversible. I got guys. I got a lot of love for dads. A lot of love for all my clients in general. But sometimes, when it comes to dads, we give up that we lose sight on the dreams. Sometimes we give up and. We lose that mojo a little bit, lose that fight, that dog in you, you know what I mean? And I think the fitness journey is beautiful because you learn how to get that back.
Yeah.
It's like a you versus you thing. And sometimes for me, I got a stressful day. I don't want to fucking talk to nobody. I don't want to deal with anybody. You know what I mean? The one thing that I want to do is I just want to lock in, put my headphones on and just lift some weights. Ain't nobody bother me.
Nice.
And just do my thing. And I think it's therapeutic, and then from there, it's like I've never met a person that was mad if they started to look better.
No, not really.
Just
maybe like the soreness.
Yeah, that. But as far as like the confidence, the mental clarity, just being able to do your daily movements throughout the day, you just feel so much better.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
I see some of the videos, your videos.
Yeah,
working
man.
out now.
I love it. I truly don't think I'd be doing anything else. And the fact that it's paired with business and I was able to make a business out of it is, I think it's really what drives me. Because I go into work and we'll clock 12, 14, 16 hours and I don't even think about it, because it doesn't feel like work. And I know it sounds cliche and like BS and stuff like that, but it really doesn't. We're just moving and grooving all day. Like part of my job is I get to do stuff like this now.
Yeah. Nice.
Like this is marketing. This is like getting our stuff out there, meeting people, building relationships. And it's not just the, working out fitness aspect. It's like everything else ties into it. And I'm sure obviously as you're growing your podcast, marketing and meeting people, getting people on the show, putting your name out there, like that's just the name of the game.
Yeah. That's what I'm learning. I'm learning a lot.
Yeah.
Social media and the algorithms, and it's different.
Yeah, and it's one of those things. I feel like the people that end up being the most successful have the most influence, and obviously they have the most eyeballs on them. And that's just what it is. It's word of mouth. You know what I mean? Because we'll go on social media. I'm going to repost this. Someone's going to see your stuff. They're going to click your stuff, and they're going to start following you. Might gain some more viewers, some more subscribers, vice versa.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's all about like the networking, the mutual relationships, and everybody kind of just benefiting off one another. Meeting cool people. That's like a main part too.
Yeah. So how long have you been doing it?
I've been doing the fitness stuff since 2012, but I opened up my spot in 2013. Yeah, so we just passed like our 10-year marker of Powerhouse. So this March will be will be, I guess, 11 years. And I would say like legitly doing it, incorporated and everything, business, logistics wise, since 2000, like end of 2015, beginning of 2016. But as far as like running the business, figuring it out and stuff like that, we were, since 2013. Yeah.
Nice. So you went through COVID too, right?
Oh yeah, that was it was interesting, man. It was interesting. I learned a lot about myself. I have my own personal views. I'm very strong, strong opinions on that, but we can leave that for another time. But more importantly, what I learned about myself is just the ability to pivot. Yes. The ability to adjust, the ability to overcome. And, really, if you have what it takes to do this stuff, because everybody can win when you have a good team.
Yes.
Everybody could win when everything is going right. But I feel like you're really tested as an entrepreneur and as a business person when things are just, chaotic. I like to call business what's called organized chaos.
Yeah.
Because you have to keep a level head, but everything is thrown at you left and right, similar to being on a job site for what you do, it's like, all right, we have a plan of execution we got to do. Okay, cool. We got to deal with this issue over here, deal with this person, this customer, X, Y, and Z, it's the same thing, we, with business, so COVID really tested that. We had our current business model, everything was flowing smooth. And then from there, it's like all of a sudden from one day to the next, we're shut down for a little bit and all right, well, what's next? Kind of like, do we go homeless or, what do we do? And I think at that point, we pivoted to like some online stuff. But more importantly, I think it was just like a test of how to pivot, but I looked at it also like a game. It's pretty awesome to be able to, it was like each day you didn't know what to expect. And I think that's why I really appreciate business, because each day is something new. And the same thing for COVID, it was like, all right, well, one day we have this business, the next day we're closed, the next day clients still want to come in, they're getting upset that we're closed down, and the next day after that, okay, some people don't want to go, COVID got a little bit more severe, we're training in the park, and then from there we're training back in the gyms, I'm going to people's houses, doing house calls, met a ton of people, and to be honest, we had a pretty solid year during COVID. And after that first initial year, we really scaled up, we really crushed it. And I think, just the ability for us to be open during that time, where we really were the people that really wanted to work out during that time, that valued their health and wellness. They rallied around us and, we crushed it during that time. For during COVID. So I think, the main takeaways was just the ability to pivot and, when stuff gets thrown at you, I feel like after COVID, there's not really much that's going to come my way that I'm not going to be, that's really going to phase me, because I don't think, and any other time in business, does the government tell you, or do people tell you like, hey, you have to shut down your business, you can't make money?
Yeah,
I don't think there'll be ever a time where you're gonna be like, what, Tim? Like, we're not gonna allow you to work.
I don't know.
Yeah.
There might be something in the pipeline.
Yeah, I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But
hopefully not.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Hopefully not. But I think that was the biggest test, because reflecting back on it, I was just like, okay, well, I don't think there's ever gonna be a time when I'm told I can't work.
Yes, that was crazy. That was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and then on your, let's see. When did you open up your first one? 2013?
The first one was in 2013. So how that came about was I was at LA Fitness and I was training there for like a year. I was making $7.50 a training session. I was working from like 5 a.m. or not working through the day from 5 a.m. to 10, but I had to be there from 5 to 10 because with personal training, how it works is maybe I got a client from 5 to 6. I got a little break from 6 to 6:30. I got another client from 6:30 to 7:30. And so, but you have to be available. You just have to be there.
Yes.
So, I was going through that schedule, slaving away like a dog over there. And, I think my checks every month were like $1,500 I was taking home, and I was there all day. I basically lived there, and I was like, this is not it. It's not cutting it. This can't be it, and I think, we could talk a little bit more later on how I got that entrepreneurial spirit, but that entrepreneurial spirit had kicked in, and I was like, you know what, like I want more, I want growth, so I had started a boot camp in the park, Thomas Burton Park over in Hacienda Heights, created a little Facebook page for it, and from there it was kind of like taking off. I had some clients that were LA Fitness wanted to check it out, people that weren't from LA Fitness wanted to check it out. And, one day I get a phone call from the VP, Mike Melanie. I'll never forget it. I was driving on Colima right in front of the Puente Hills Mall. It's probably the month of October. I just did this talk the other day, and it's probably like 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And he's like, Aaron? And I was like, yeah. I was like, who's this? He's like, it's Mike Melanie. I'm like, Mike Melanie? He's like, yeah, I'm the VP of Valley Fitness, Fitness International or whatever. I'm like, all right, what's going on? It's 9 o'clock at night. Why are you calling me, And he's like, well, we've seen that you have a boot camp over in Thomas Burn Park's conflict of interest. We're going to have to let you go. Boom. At that point, I became an entrepreneur. No job. Boom. Fired. I was like, all right, well, I remember sitting in my car in the parking lot of the 24-hour fitness in Puente Hills Mall, ghost town now, but, back then it was still a little popping. And I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, holy shit. Like, what am I going to do? Like, what's going on? And at that point, I had some clients. I had built some relationships from a guy down the way. He had like a small private gym, and he's like, I was talking to him about it, and he's like, man, just bring your clients over here. And I was like, all right, cool. So I brought my clients over there for a couple of months. Super cool guy, and he ended up shutting down his gym. Just didn't want it anymore. It wasn't his thing. Just moving on to different opportunities. So that left me kind of high and dry again. But luckily, he had a storage unit in an industrial park over in Covina, and he was moving some of his things out, and he told me, he's like, hey man, if you're able to get first and last month's deposit on this, I'll sign it over to you if it's cool with the landlord, and then I'll give you some of my equipment like on consignment. You can start making payments. So I worked a deal with that, and I was like, cool. So I went to my tata at the time, where they were over here in South El Monte. And I asked him, I was like, hey, I sat him down here with my grandma. I remember sitting on the floor. I was like, I need to borrow $5,000.
Yeah.
I'm like, I need to borrow $5,000. I was like, why? I'm like, I'm gonna start a gym. Fucking 20 years old. Like, $5,000. $5,000 is a lot of money back then. Yeah. Still a lot of money, Yeah. And he was just like, all right. My parents were in a position to help me out. My grandpa was an immigrant from Mexico, drove a trash truck for 40 years. For at Athens, super hard worker, and he was just like, yeah, I don't want you to end up in the same position. I came over to this country to obviously provide a better life. Like, this is your shot. Like, go for it. Really didn't any question. I mean, there's some questions, but no major pushback. So I'm super grateful to this day for that, because that was like the catalyst and the opportunity that put me in the position that I am now. Mm-hmm. And took that $5,000, and I told him, I'm gonna pay you back. I took that $5,000. Put at that time, it was a little 900 square foot little roll-up door garage place, 1522A Industrial Park Street in Covina, and put my first and last months there. Paid my man Holden the other half for the equipment, and I had some stuff that I had accumulated over the time. Training on some concrete floors, and there was some couple rubber mats that I had, some mirrors hanging on the floor still. Nothing was installed. Yeah. And we were letting it rock and roll from there.
That was Anthony, everybody.
Yeah. Anthony's a videographer. He's my boy. He does all our social media content over at Powerhouse too as well. So he's documented my whole life. Kids parties, everything.
Yeah, Joe told me to talk to you about your biopic. So okay.
But yeah, man. So I going from there, we put my first and last months, got the consignment from there, and it was just like, all right, it was off to the races. And it was like training people for free, training people for $15 a session, bring your friend, I'll put this, and we started to scrounge up things together, and, I, kind of made it happen. Also kind of rewinding a little bit, one of my colleagues from LA Fitness was originally supposed to come with me, and we're supposed to do this together.
Yeah.
And we're just like, man, he's like, I'm going to go with you. But when it came down to it...
Like Jerry Maguire?
Jerry Maguire...
Who's coming with me?
Oh, I'm horrible with movies and shit. I'm like a horrible movie buff, man. Right. I'm like a horrible... What movie is that from?
Jerry Maguire.
Jerry Maguire is a movie or what?
Tom Cruise.
Yeah, Tom Cruise. Oh, man, remember when he says, show me the money? When he gets fired, he says, who's coming with me?
Fine, man,
I'm taking the fish.
I probably have seen it. I probably recognize it if I see it. I'm horrible.
Anthony got it. Anthony's got it, so we're good.
But anyways, man, he was supposed to come with me, and last minute he kind of got cold feet and backed out. So then that's when I went to go ask with my tata for the money and stuff, and we figured it all out from there. But yeah, man, and that kind of one thing led to another. Sessions, just kind of trying to make ends meet, and it was 1 month after another, just grinding away, and that's kind of how it originally first started.
Nice.
Yeah.
Then you went from 1 to 2 to 3.
Well,
you're not 3 yet, right?
We're at 3 almost. But 1, we had quite a few things happen during that time. So during that time, obviously as like a young business person, young entrepreneur, was in the thick of it. And then I didn't know shit about business. That was before the social media age.
Yeah.
I didn't really know anything about mentors. No one in my family was a business owner, so it's not like I could have, I wish I would have had the resources that I have now. Then it'd probably been a way different story.
Yeah.
But I'm grateful for the learning lessons for sure. But I didn't know what to do. My mind, because I wasn't an idiot, I would consider myself smart. Was that if I give equity to 2 other people, or sell a portion to them during this part of time, like this thing is going to sustain itself longer, and it'll be more successful. So that's kind of where I was at. I was just like chipping away by myself. I had hired a couple trainers that were paying me a rent to train at the place, small little spot. But then I also had this plan of creating like these group sessions, this boot camps, and this culture and this community, because at that time CrossFit was big. People are really big into community aspects. People show up to places because of that. So during that time, I had sold a portion to the 2 partners that I had at the time, and we started to grow, did well, and in December of 2015, we got kicked out of that place because we got too big.
Okay.
So we grew out of this little 1,000 square foot warehouse. And landlord came and was like, hey man, there's too many complaints, like you're against code X, Y, and Z. City was coming, there's like, all right, you gotta shut down. I'm like, fuck, all right. So like, here we go. I had just moved out, had a little pad in Diamond Bar, and we were moving. And then from 1 month to the next, we had to shut down, move all our stuff, and then we were kind of like theoretically homeless for a little bit in December of 2015. So, at that time, struggling a little bit, had to move out of that place I was in, had to break my lease. Luckily, my realtor now was the one that, was able to lease it to me. So, finagled some things, but, got out of that. And we found our next spot, which is, I consider my first location now, the one that I still have, is our City of Industry spot off Simpson and Gale. Found that spot, been there for a while now, since 2016 of January. And then, during that time, obviously business grew, took off, was with my partners, and, COVID came, we were growing through that. Plenty of learning lessons along the way, still as a new entrepreneur. And right after COVID, I kind of hit like this brick wall of like, I'm not growing. We had opened up our Duarte spot during that time, right before COVID, 2019. And then from there, I just felt like I hit a brick wall. It's just like, man, I feel like, the people that I'm with are not growing at the same pace as me. And you have to make a tough decision.
Yeah.
So I was at the point of closing down the gym. So I was like, man, I'm not going to do this. Frustration, mixed emotions. Like, there's all kinds of other things that went on during that time. Ended up buying them out. Probably the best decision I could have ever made. Best decision I could have ever made. And learned a lot during that time. Very grateful for it, but there's just some things that you just have to move away from. You know what I mean? You gotta love people from afar. And so from there, business really started to take off. We got our Duarte location, popping. That was post-COVID. And then industry was crushing it, did super well. And then I bought a building over in La Habra. So just closed escrow on that probably a year ago, like next month, like in February. And, for the past year, been, pulling permits with that thing, trying to get things going, building out bathrooms, like all this stuff. And it's just been like a slow process. So hopefully we'll be opening that up, like February of, next month of 2024, February, March. And then that'll be our 3rd location. So it's kind of a little spiel of what's kind of been going on with me.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what do you teach? Training? Do you do a lot of CrossFit? Do you do what kind of programs?
We do, so I like to call it like a group personal training. So We do, I wouldn't call it like a boot camp because I feel like most people correlate boot camp with just like burpees, kettlebell swings, just like, you know, bouncing off the walls.
Yeah.
Whereas we're not that. We are something completely different. We do strength training, hypertrophy training, but just in a group setting because it makes it more cost effective. And I really wanted to hone in on the community aspect. You know, I like going places where I know people, show up, have a good time, but then also get my work done. You know what I mean? It allows you to be more successful. It allows you to stick to it longer because there's like a community around it, you know? So what we do is, you know, we're doing squats, deadlifts, leg extensions, cable movements, like everything that you normally would when you go to the gym and strength train, you know? We're just doing it in a group setting. So that way we're able to make it cost effective, but more importantly, build the community around it, which allows people to become more successful in their fitness journey. Because, you know, most people, we're shooting this podcast in January. It's a big kickoff.
Yeah.
In the beginning, everybody's like, all right, you know, I'm gonna get back in the groove, you know, and they go for 2 weeks and, you know, no one's calling them. No one knows what their goals are. No one's holding them accountable. And then 2 weeks from now, most people, by the 31st, most people have fallen off track.
Yeah.
You know, whereas in a place like mine, you know, where you're coming, you're getting checked up on, you're making friendships, you're around like-minded individuals that want growth. You know what I mean? Because I think you and me can both attest that it's hard to find people that, you know, if you're trying to grow in your life, people that believe in your vision or that want, you know, the same things that you want. I feel like as you climb, it gets slimmer and slimmer. As you're trying to grow and focus on yourself, you know, you tell people you're starting a podcast, people might be like, what? That's ridiculous. Is that a podcast?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, why would you do that? You know, why are you spending all that money on this equipment? I'm like, well, you don't understand.
Yeah.
You know, and it's the same thing that people go through in their families when it comes to fitness. It's like, well, why do you want to get in shape? Why are you getting a personal trainer? Why do you want to spend money on that? That's ridiculous. Why would you want to do that? Well, they don't understand.
Yeah.
You know, but it's setting you up for success. You're thinking long-term health, you know? So that's where we come in and we have like a group personal training aspect, you know, with the community base. We help you with nutrition, and that's where, you know, me and Joe have brought in that meal prep. Yeah. My ideology of what we're going to do and where we're going to go was to be like a Costco of the fitness industry. You know, I want to be able to offer, you know, obviously the personal training. We have a supplement component and then also the nutrition, because I don't want my clients going anywhere else if they don't have to, right?
Yeah.
And being influenced by anyone else in a negative way. I have a great rapport with all of my people, so I don't want them to go somewhere and then be upsold on some random shit. I used to send people to GNC, hey, get some protein. Send them to NutriShop, get some of these things, and they go there and they get upsold on 5 different things and come back to the gym. Aaron, well, how do I take all this stuff? I'm like, dude, I told you to get protein.
Yeah.
I didn't tell you to buy all these things. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you just need this. Well, yeah, they told me I need a test booster and all these other. I'm like, you just need to eat well and work out, you know, and just take the protein, maybe multivitamin, you know, a little bit of BCAAs. But to me, I feel like in this day and age, there's an influx of information everywhere, and I just want to be a solid source where people can go and get some like good evidence and things that are, you know, tried and true, because a lot of our business is based off the rapport that we have with our people. Yeah. You know.
So your programs are like community based. Then you have a supplement company too, or
yeah. So we have a supplement company. It's called ABC Performance Subs.
Yeah.
We launched that a couple years ago. Worked with like the whole food supplement manufacturers to, you know, put our things together. And we're releasing products slowly because it is a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of effort, you know, so I'm not like a bodybuilding.com or, you know, I don't carry a ton of products. It does take time, you know, and I get, I know it kind of goes against the grain of what you should be doing and having a hyper focus on one thing. But I truly believe that where we're trying to go and where I'm trying to take, you know, our business in the industry, that all these 3 things are super important. The fitness, first and foremost, that's like the bread and butter, which gets majority of my attention, and then comes the meal prep, and then will come the supplements, you know. But we do have a supplement line, and I have no intentions of stopping that and continue to grow it. The same with the freshnfuego, and also in addition to the gyms, because what we're going to do is we're going to eventually franchise.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
So then with the freshnfuego, it's your meal prep company.
Yeah.
You guys just got a new kitchen.
Yeah,
and a giant stove.
Yeah. I'm sure Joe sent you a picture of that.
Yeah, Joe's like, wow, this thing's huge.
Yeah, it's wild. It's cool to see it come to life, man. It's cool to see it come to life. it's been an interesting ride with the Fresh and Fuego too.
Yeah, that I know. Joe's told me. I talked to Joe about it.
Yeah.
He gets frustrated sometimes, but he's like, I gotta keep going.
Yeah, and that's one of those things. And luckily, we both have our career paths to be able to, supplement where we need to, which is another reason why I know that we're going to be successful, because we're able to feed into this, because some of these things require time, and then it's just about building the right team. Yeah. We have a solid chef coming in, Claudio. Shout out Claudio. He's a good addition to the team. We've already been this week actually working on recipes and some new things, getting ready to rock. And I think with the right people, the right understandings, the right intentions, and just putting time into it, I know it's gonna do well. It's been a process, but we've come so far now. It's like there's no way to turn back. It's like it'd be ridiculous.
How was the did you guys have you guys did have it during COVID, right? Fresh and Fuego?
Yeah, we did have it during COVID. Fresh and Fuego was one of those things where it ended up being like, we needed to do a meal prep because clients were asking for it. Yeah. And I had told Joe about it, and I was like, dude, this thing is like, I want to know what I'm eating. You know what I mean? I want the food coming from a place where I know where it's coming from. I want, like, food for me is like water, when it comes to like staying alive and being in the fitness industry, and it's just a necessary component.
Yeah.
For the life of the fitness industry. Like, you're not going to get results if your food is not on point, and I had clients ask for it, and I was dealing with other meal prep companies at the time, and, when they would make mistakes, I was the one having to deal with it and troubleshoot it. It was just like, ended up being so much work. I was like, man, might as well just do it ourselves. It's ridiculous. I'm already having to deal with it anyways. I'm giving people this business, and I'm not really benefiting from it in any way, shape, or form. The clients are, and that's fine. I don't have to benefit from everything that I do. Yeah. But if I have to then put in work on behalf of somebody else, and at that point I'm like, okay, I need something. I need something in return for this. So I ended up cutting ties with those places, and I told Joe, I was like, man, let's do this. We converted his back house into a kitchen, and we're rocking and rolling from there, and it kind of just served its purpose for the time being. Kept me fed, kept him fed. Yeah. Fed some of our clients. We were kind of just breaking even during that time. He was obviously, growing Mr. Rooter, doing what he's got going over there, and I was growing Powerhouse. So we kind of it wasn't really phasing anything. There was obviously some hiccups along the way, but it wasn't until we were just like, all right, he wanted to build in the back, and we're like, okay, now we really got to turn this up. Yeah. We really got to turn it up. So that's where we're like, all right, cool. Let's move everything. Let's really double down and scale this thing. So that's where we've been at the past 2 months. And I know I've been on him and Alexa too, as much as they've been on me, kind of just like, all right, let's go. And we've had more urgency than we ever had. Not to say it wasn't successful before, but it wasn't at our forefront. Yeah. You know what I mean? It was serving its purpose, keeping us fed, keeping our people fed. And now we're just like, all right, I know this can turn into something. And, Powerhouse is scaling. We're going to have 3 locations. It's more people are getting out there. And I just think that the quality of food and having good quality of food and from a reputable source is super important, especially at home with my kids, and feeding them well. It's one thing that, like, kids nutrition too, that we want to dabble in, and just making sure people are getting quality stuff, because in today's day and age, you don't even know what you're eating sometimes out there.
Maybe we should make a food truck with Fresh and Fuego, like fresh food, and they can work with their macros and stuff. So
100%. No, that's an idea. That's definitely an idea.
There's no really healthy like with
on the go like that.
No, there's not.
Yeah, someone that you can roll up on like a job site. Yeah. Put it next to Big. Look,
you got pizza or you got.
We'll guilt trip everybody. I'm like, come on.
Yeah, you want pizza? I know it's wood fire, but still,
what's the low-cal option right here?
Yeah. See, it might work. Take it to the fairs and these farmers markets. It might work. Exactly. Maybe that's what I'll go. I'll do that part on your. I'll piggyback off the Fresh and Fuego. Man. Yeah, and then when people want their meals, they just come to the truck.
Fuego, right there, for hot and ready.
Yes.
So I think it'd be a great concept. I think it'd be cool. I think people are becoming more health conscious. Obesity is like one of the largest pandemics in the world, but I feel that the fitness industry is growing. People are becoming more health conscious because as we get a little bit older, you don't want to check out,
Well, a lot of us don't know about macros.
Yeah. I know.
Seeing Joe said talk to you about macros because we don't know.
Okay, so we're going to break down the macros for that. All right, so this is a crash course.
No, not like, it's kind of just get a little, like, just...
Well, taste test.
Because a lot of people don't really know, they think chicken and broccoli, we're good. Maybe a little rice, we're good. That's all we got to eat for the rest of our lives. And it's not, you can't do it.
No, yeah, and that's where there's a couple ways that you want to gear up to it. So first and foremost, what I like to tell people is that, I mean, I love all foods. I love burgers. I love pizza.
He got serious because he likes stuff.
Yeah, there we go. We're gonna break this down right here.
All right.
So I'm a sucker for chocolate chip cookies.
Yeah.
I love I love all those foods. But in reality, what I like to tell people is that you are eating for your body, not your taste buds.
Yes.
And most people correlate food with celebration. They correlate food with weddings, with gluttony, with like all of these things, right? When in reality, food is just meant for fuel.
Yes.
If you look in the olden days, it's like, dude, we're eating to survive. And, in this hunter-gathering type of thing, it's like, we're only eating if we kill something. In order to kill something, I got to go out there and move and hunt. You can't just do DoorDash and it's going to roll up to your house. You know what I mean? Or like, hot and ready in 5 minutes, So it's just changing your relationship with food and understanding it's not solely for pleasure, it's for fuel. And I think at that forefront, if you start to do that, you'll already make progress, right? Because you'll kind of remove some things from your day-to-day and understand that maybe you're using food as like a coping mechanism. Maybe you're eating when you're bored, when you're depressed, or there's a lot of conversations I have with clients and it gets deep, And in the very beginning when I was new, I didn't really see it like that until, I started to do more research and, obviously talk to more clients, deeper understandings of things, that it's like a coping mechanism for some people. So that's the forefront, right? And then from there, it's like, a lot of people don't like eating the meal prep same thing every day, right?
Yes.
People think eating healthy, they think, like you said, chicken, rice, broccoli.
Yeah.
They think chicken, asparagus, or they think tilapia, or this mundane, food guide, when in reality, it doesn't have to be that way. So what it comes down to is you can add variety as long as you educate yourself. Whereas, most people think that, okay, well, I'm going to follow this low calorie diet. Like, what does low calorie mean to you? Like, if I were to ask you, Tim, like, if I told you, like, what's low cal? Like, what does that mean?
It's just the calories are lower than the, I guess it's based on 2,500.
Okay, so at least you have more 25
of a day. Yeah, and then you have your calories, and if you add it up to the meal, and then you don't want to eat. You want to eat less than you consume, right?
You want to eat less than you burn.
Burn. Okay.
Yeah, correct. So you're already a step ahead of the game, right?
I kind of wish to work out.
Yeah. No, 100%. 100%. So you're already at an advantage. But most people, believe it or not, they don't understand what like low calorie is. It's like, okay, what's low calorie? Is low calorie like 100 or what is that? Like, what am I basing my calories off of? Like a standard, according to like a U.S. Census, things are based off a 2,000 calorie diet, right? Yeah. You go 2,000, 2,500, pretty much same thing, right? So low cal essentially would be foods that are lower in calories so they can keep you underneath that 200, caloric, intake.
Yeah.
And in order to lose weight, like you said, you had it right, where it's you have to eat less than what you burn. Mm-hmm. And if you eat more than what you burn, then obviously you're going to gain weight.
Yeah, it gets stored.
Yeah. So from there, you can take it a step further to add in variety, right? Because I can eat less calories and I can eat donuts all day. It doesn't mean it's healthy, right? I can just eat, those little mini Hostess donuts, and it's like as long as I ate less than 2,000 calories. Well, Aaron, I didn't go over my calories.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, and most people think that way.
Yes.
And you're not wrong. It's because we don't know what we don't know. Meaning, like, if no one ever told you, you weren't educated about it, and especially kind of in the family history, if no one in your family was like taking health and fitness super serious, like how are we expected to know?
Yeah.
So from there, you take it a step deeper, because in order to look a certain way and in order to build muscle, you need to have a certain amount of protein, a certain amount of carbs in your diet, and a certain amount of fats. And when I ask people, it's like, well, yeah, I'm going to put you on the spot, you know what I mean? But most people are not going to know this. I'm assuming you're probably going to know a little bit more. And if you don't, again, I'm here just to educate. So if I tell you what's a protein, what does protein mean to you?
Like meats, beans, I forgot what else, fish.
Okay, right, you're on the right track with that.
Proteins.
And if I tell you carbs, what
and maybe
are carbs?
powder. Carbs, they'd be more like pasta, breads, Pastas, breads, like that, I guess.
100%. And if I tell you fats, like what are some sources of fats?
Well, fats I'm not too big on, but I know like avocado's a good fat. And then you have just I don't know what fat. Really don't know.
So fats like coconuts, peanuts, nuts also have fat. So how it works is like foods get categorized at which macro is most dominant. Because if you think steak, what is steak? Is steak protein? Is it a carb or is it a fat?
Protein.
Okay, you're right, 100%. Most people are going to categorize that as fat. So you think like a top sirloin or like a New York strip or something like that. You know, we'll take New York strip for example. High protein content, also relatively high fat content, right? But because the protein content is higher, people are going to associate that with more of like, oh, this is a source of protein. But not understanding that if you also eat this, you're also driving up your fat content, which is also responsible for a certain amount of calories. So I know this is going to get a little bit more granular, right? Whereas say, well, for explanation purposes, say we have 1,000 calories that we can eat per day.
Yeah.
Right? You can mix and match them however you want. Then each food that you eat has a certain amount of calories per gram, right? So meaning 1 gram of protein is worth 4 calories. So say if I had this piece of chicken and it said, oh, when you buy the chicken, it's 25 grams of protein. So you would multiply 25 grams times 4. And that means that piece of chicken would be 100 calories for whatever it is, right? If you just took that protein macro. So that's where I come into play. And I do all this crazy math for these people. And I explain to them, you know, hey, we're going to put your calories at this much because of this is your body type. And we use our in-body analysis machine, which breaks down your muscle mass, your body fat, like all these other things. And then I'm going to tell you, hey, Tim, I need you to have 150 grams of protein. I need you to have 200 grams of carbs. I need you to eat 50 grams of fat. Well, Aaron, how do I do that?
Yeah.
And that's where they have apps like MyFitnessPal. I don't know if you've heard of MyFitnessPal.
I think I have that.
It's like a tracking app where you punch in all your food and it tells you, okay, this food has 25 grams of carbs, 10 grams of fat, 15 grams of protein or whatever it is. And then you basically, it's like if I gave you an allowance and I'm telling you, Tim, I'm going to give you $1,000 and you need to spend X amount of the money in 50s, X amount in 20s, and X amount of 5s. This is basically if I gave you a meal plan and said, hey, you need X amount of protein, X amount of carbs, X amount of fats.
Yeah.
But because it requires time and effort and learning, not many people get that far.
Yeah.
Because even in this conversation right now, people are going to listen to this stuff and they're like, man, this is like
also,
Chinese.
Also, a lot of people, when they do the fitness app, the apps, or they do the counting like calories and all this other stuff, they don't count little things.
Yeah,
like what goes with, like what you cook with. You just count, okay, I have this chicken and this, and they don't think about, you have to put butter on it, or you put the oil on it, and that also goes into what you do, what you're cooking. So a lot of people don't know that part. And then when they do eat it, a lot of it's not flavorful, and you can do other things to make it flavorful, but you have to figure out how without going your calories and the cholesterol and everything else going up, your fats and stuff going up. So that's where I think I had a couple of your meals. They're pretty good. And
He's
so
just saying that to be nice right now.
no, I don't like Joe. I don't even like Joe. So why would I?
He paid me to say that.
Yeah, but I know I tried a couple times. It wasn't that bad. And then I was like, cool. But a lot of people don't like to do some of the healthy meals because it's not flavorful. It's kind of bland and
and that's where we're taking our pivot in the meal prep industry of like, we just had a talk today. So right now we cooked yesterday a spicy garlic chili beef.
Yeah.
Tons of flavor. We use a ground beef. It's like a 90-10 ground beef, a little bit higher on the calories, a little bit higher on the macros. But the whole premise behind the meal prep is that when you get these meals now, on the front it's telling you 30 grams of protein, 10 grams of carbs, 15 grams of fat. So you can get these, meals and you can just make them fit into your macros. Because it's essentially, I like to give a lot of analogies. So it's essentially like if I told you, what's your favorite meal at In-N-Out? Like, what do you eat when you go to In-N-Out?
Number 2.
Okay. With fries and shake?
Yes, no shake.
Okay. Let's just say you got the shake. If you had to get a shake, what would you get? If you had to.
Strawberry, I guess.
Okay.
I don't really do too much. Like I do it, but not. I don't really like shakes.
Okay. So we'll just say for the sake of calories, right? Number 2 is what? Cheeseburger?
Cheeseburger.
Okay, cheeseburger.
Animal style.
Animal style, right? With fries. You get fries animal style or no? Okay,
Fries
so regular
light.
fries.
Fries light. Let's go.
Okay. I used to work in
low
that
salt.
back in
Low
the day,
salt.
too.
Yeah.
Low salt. All right, keep it healthy right there.
Yeah.
Low cal. You know? And then we got a strawberry shake. You're looking right there, maybe like 1,300 calories.
Yeah.
Easily. You know, you work hard, right? You're active,
Yeah.
right? So is that the only? If you go to In-N-Out, was that the only thing you ate all day?
No, I'll do because I do intermittent fasting, so I don't eat till 1, and that helps me with work, what to do. So I don't really eat. I do one big meal, which would be like In-N-Out, and then I do something smaller.
Okay, so it's essentially not the only thing you ate all day.
No.
Right. So and for most people, when they go to In-N-Out, right,
That's
they
their
had
lunch.
a breakfast,
Yeah.
they had a lunch, and they're probably gonna have a dinner.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So you think about that one meal was already 1,400 calories. Then you're adding another breakfast that was, 600-700 calories, and we're already at 2,000. And then you had another dinner, which is usually like the heaviest meal of the day, another 1,000 calories. Next thing you know, you're at 3,000 calories. You're only supposed to eat 2,000 or whatever it was set for you based off of your BMR.
Yeah.
Which is where people think like, well, Aaron, I only had one cheat meal and I had a salad with this dressing in the morning and I had this on the other. I was like, well, yeah, essentially I get it. You had healthier choices. But because they were so calorie dense, right, you're going to be moving in the opposite direction. Because for 1,400 calories, an In-N-Out meal, I could have gave you 3 meals of steak, rice, and veggies, or chicken, rice, and veggies, or this, that, and that. You could have got 3 more volume of food for the same amount of calories.
Yeah.
So that's where also the understanding becomes a little bit tricky.
Yeah, because I do like portion. I don't big portion, but small portions. So.
Yeah, 100%. And then also weighing food. People need to get a little bit more
I
accustomed
have a scale, but it doesn't really come out too much because it's right there. It's right there.
And people need to bust those out a little bit more so at least they can understand what the portions are going to look like, because you're just like, oh, it looks good. Well, let me get a little more. Next thing you know, you're overeating and you're consuming a little bit more than you should have or than what you needed.
And you always say, well, I'll just work that off.
Exactly.
And you don't. And you don't.
Yeah, and then people they if they really understood what it took to burn off 300 calories, I think people would probably be like, I don't know if that's going to be worth it. Because I get clients come to me now and they might have like a couple slices of pizza or donuts or whatever. 300, 400, 500, 600 calories. And
Pizza's not that bad. Biggie makes pizza all the time. Isn't it health conscious?
Maybe it's like vegan cheese. No, I love pizza. I love pizza.
Oh, me too.
But
I was going to go over there and pick some up yesterday.
There you go.
I'm glad I didn't
exactly. I love pizza. But, for those that are struggling with weight loss, maybe we cut that back just a little bit, or different options, or you're just becoming way more active. Because not to say that you can't incorporate pizza in your diet, because I have people that have a couple slices, each week, or I have people that love ice cream. I'm not going to give up ice cream. Okay, cool. But you just have to work backwards and get to a place where it's like, all right, well, if you're going to have these things, we got to cut this out over here. You can't do the pizza and the brownies.
Yeah.
It's going to be one or the other.
That's what I'm working. That's like the hardest thing for me is I like sweets, but I cut out sweets other places and I still eat like a sweet, but I don't do sodas. I don't do anything. So I do like sweet tea. No sweet tea. I just do regular tea.
Okay.
And then I do a lot of water. So.
Okay.
And then I'm doing the not flavored waters, like
the carbonated waters.
Carbonated waters.
Okay,
I do
like
those.
too, yeah.
So that's what I do, and I don't drink sodas. Like maybe once in a great while, like maybe 3, 4, 5 months. I'm like soda, take a drink. Okay, I'm good. And
yeah. Me too. I'm not like a big fan of soda or anything like that.
I used to be.
I used to be. I've never been. I think also from all the research and like all the amount of sugar they put in each one, it's like, I don't know.
That's a problem. The sugar is what it is, and then I like Asian food, but they put sugar in everything.
Yeah. Yeah, all the sauces, like the sweet and sour sauces.
Every time they cook something, there's like a
cup of sugar.
Like, wow, that much? And then when I go like out of the state and I go to other states in the South, they don't like their little bit of sugar is like a cup of sugar.
Oh, so hefty,
it's crazy.
The Southern cooking, right?
Yeah,
there.
Southern cooking is so much sugar. Yeah, so that's the hard part. That I think that's another avenue like people don't know is when they're traveling, eating healthy while traveling.
I think it definitely can be done.
No, it could be, but it's just it's not. If like, well, I drive a truck. Yeah, I drive a truck. So I drive a truck. I'm not a truck driver. I drive a truck. So there's a difference.
Okay.
Because I kind of okay. Most truck drivers, if you see them,
yeah,
and then you see a guy who drives a truck, there's a little difference.
Okay.
Okay. So
is it still like an 18-wheeler or is it?
Yeah, I drive 18-wheeler.
Okay.
But I don't go like I don't have the big gallon of Cokes or coffee,
okay.
you know, and the.
You drive a truck, but you're not the stereotypical truck driver.
Yeah. See, that's it. See, truck driver. I drive a truck.
Yeah.
I don't have to be at a certain place. You know, I don't have like appointments, and I go there, I set up, I finish, I go home. You know, that's different. So when you drive around, there's no healthy places to eat. Yeah. Everything really is, it's fast food or everything's fried. If there was a way that you can do like say for instance Fresh and Fuego, if they could hook up with like Love's or Pilot or TA Travel America, if you could hook up with them and then maybe like put your meals in those places, it would probably help because then there would be a healthy option. There's no healthy options on the road.
Can you take like ice chest with you or no?
Well, see, that's what I mean. There's difference. I cook a lot and then I don't eat. I don't eat out of I don't do Wendy's, Arby's.
Yeah.
I don't do those things. So
Arby's, that just sounds nasty.
Arby's good. Stop it. Arby's is good. Arby's is good. So I don't do no fast food. I stopped fast food, so that's a big thing. I know I do In-N-Out, but all the other ones I don't do, and that's kind of a help. But there's no food there, so I have to stop at the market, and then I cook. So when I make I usually eat at restaurants. So that's kind of I like Cracker Barrel or eat whatever, but that's the difference. Okay. It's hard to eat healthy on the road for a lot of people. And the meal prep companies, it would be cool, but if they're traveling, they're not going to see it. Yeah. But if one of those places actually got hooked up with the meal prep company, and then they have it all over the place. Then the truck drivers can go in, they grab it, they warm it up, and they're good. Yeah. Because there are little tricks of the trade that you can do. Because I know at all 7-Elevens, they have a microwave that you can use. So if you did bring food with you, you can always go into a 7-Eleven and warm your food up. I have a microwave for my trailer, so there you go. Perfect. There you go. I actually have we have a grill. So when I go to the shows, I cook food. So we go to the market instead of going to getting. And I do sandwiches because it's easier, but I do a lot of other stuff where we make chicken and steaks. And you just we need to come out with a grill that we can hook up on the back of a special grill for the 18-wheelers. I have a good grill. We have a smoker, and then I think this year I'm taking the egg with me. Okay. The big green egg. Yeah. We have a smaller one, so I might take that with me. But we have a lot of us. Well, I actually have a flat top. Nice to do that. So it's just healthier because even when you go to places, the food's so expensive. Yeah. Especially at the conventions or where like the shows we're at, it's so much money. Yeah. You're $20 for a burger. Ridiculous. Yeah. Yes. You spend like $200 just to eat one day. Yeah, and it's horrible. So yeah, that's the thing. But I mean, for truck drivers or even just people traveling on the road, it's way different. Like if they knew more about it, they could probably do it. And yeah, I definitely want to. We have a lot of big plans about bringing things and avenues to different places because I know America doesn't really do a good job at trying to set people up to be healthy and health conscious. No. You know, it's kind of like, all right, well, this is cheap. There's a lot of margin on it, so let's sell it. Yeah, let's go get they have like the fried burritos, chimichangas. Let me grab 2 of those. And they're cheap. A little AM, PM dollar cheeseburgers. Well, that's why they're so cheap. That's why you do that. It's cheap, but there's a reason why it's so cheap. Crap after too. Well, you do. Those people don't. They're happy. They're good. I eat that. I'm like, man. Yeah, most of these people are happy with Hot Pockets and I remember when I was like 5, or 5th grade. I mean, I used to love Hot Pockets, and tater tots, and all that stuff. Yeah, I eat that stuff now. I'm like, man. I have the problem. Like I'm older, so I'm just trying to. Yeah. 100%. Me and Joe's dad are like the same age, so we. How old are you? 58. Oh man, you look good for 58. I'll be 59 next month. Yeah, this guy's dad's in shape for how old's your dad? 67. Yeah, his dad's jacked like a 6-pack now. You're in good shape for 58, man. My dad used to be in good shape. Now he's just got old. He's like 90. He'll be 90 this year. So. Oh wow, that's awesome. Yeah, he's still doing good genetics. He still thinks he can run. Do a 4.6. He still thinks he can run a 4.6. But yeah, he's yeah, awesome, man. Yeah, you're good for 58, man. No drugs, no alcohol. Yeah, that might be it. Yeah. Always no alcohol? No alcohol.
Okay.
Yeah, no alcohol, no drugs.
I'm not a big fan of drinking like that. You know, just smoke weed every once in a while back in the day, but not so much anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, I just.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm not a big fan of drinking. We actually had a family party. Like, both Joes were there.
Yeah.
You can ask both Joes.
Yeah, I seen it.
Oh, okay,
it was on your social media.
Yeah, and man, I had a little too much fun. It was cool though. It was a good time. I don't really ever let loose like that, but we had one too many bottles of tequila, and I just felt horrible after. You know, horrible, and that's why I don't drink. I don't like to be like waking up the next day unproductive. Like I don't do that. Yeah. But yeah, I know it. I don't know how some people do that every weekend. You know, it's crazy.
I know a lot of people.
You enjoyed this?
Yes.
It's horrible.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, you're having fun. Oh, we had fun. I'm like, I don't think you did.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't even know how you're alive right now.
Maybe you weren't there. Maybe you weren't there. But okay, we'll go with that.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, that's fun. So we talked about your Powerhouse gym. We talked about Fresh Fuego. Talked about Joe had a couple questions you want answered.
Yeah.
Even though he's your partner, I don't know. But
yeah, no, we talk about it too as well. We have constant conversations about macros, inputting things into our little CRM little website that we have there. How are we gonna do this? How are we gonna do that? Oh, I gotta do the math. All right, let me do it.
Nice.
That's what we've been spending a lot of time doing recently. Yeah. But yeah, man.
If I didn't cook myself, I'd be with Fresh and Fuego.
Yeah.
But you know.
Well, if you ever need, we'll bring you some meals by on the next time we're on the show. We'll do a little sponsorship right here.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Joe's. Me and Joe we talk all the time, and when he comes on, he talks about it. So yeah, we're good.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so all right. Well, it was nice of you to come in and have some fun. And
appreciate it. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you. And then
appreciate
Anthony.
You guys.
Nice. Here it is right here. That's Anthony right there.
Awesome.
He's the one in the bio, like gonna make it happen. Do you don't have theme music when you walk in? Just Anthony, no theme music.
I gotta come up with my theme song.
Yeah, you did. Come in, you know.
Someone else record me.
What did Joe's dad remember when he was asking for you when we were?
Probably kept calling me Anchorman.
Yeah. He's like, "Where's Anchorman?"
Yeah, Anchorman. Yes, that's it.
He'll still do that even at the dinner.
Yeah. That's nice.
All right, guys. I'll catch you later.
All right, everybody. Thanks a lot. Look for I'll have all of the links for Aaron on the bottom. Like, subscribe, and click
comment, share, whatever it is.
And then there's this thing on the bottom, like subscribe. Help us out.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye.